We are beginning Chapter 6 in our Go Math book, and we have finished learning about two-digit addition and subtraction, and this chapter is on three-digit addition and subtraction. We're on page 277. Curious George has a problem for us. Monarch butterflies roost together during migration. If you count 83 butterflies on one tree and 72 on another, how many butterflies have you counted all together? Because they're asking us for all together, they're asking for a total. I've just got a piece of scrap paper here that I can do this problem on. So we've learned that we can make a T, and if we want a total here, we're going to add 83 and 72. So 83, 72. Draw the line. We also know that we need to go to the ones first. So we have 3 plus 2, which is 5. I'm going to put that down here. And in our tens column, we have 8 plus 7. 8 plus 7 is 15. And because I'm done adding, I can just write that down. So the answer is 155. Turn your paper over. And this is just a review of what you know. So it says model subtracting tens. Write the difference. We had 5 tens, and we took away 3, so they've X'd out 3 here. How many tens does that leave? We have 2 tens left there. So 5 tens is 50, 3 tens is 30. 50 minus 30, what's the same as 2 tens? It's 20. 7 tens minus 2 tens. So they had the 7 tens here. They've X'd out 2 of them. So we have 5 tens left. So 7 tens is 70. 2 tens is 20. 70 minus 20 is the same thing as 5 tens, which is 50. Two-digit addition, we're just going to add. So we start in the ones place. 4 plus 5 is 9. So we'll just write that down here. And 5 plus 2 is 7. The answer is 79. 5 plus 8 is 13. The 3 ones go down in the ones place. The 110 goes up. And 3 plus 1 is 4, and 1 more is 5. So the answer is 53. 2 plus 7 is 9. There's no regrouping there, so I can just write down the 9. And 8 plus 6 is 14. And because I'm done adding, I can just write that, 14, for 149. And 9 plus 1 is 10. So we need to regroup. The 0 goes in the ones place, and the 110 goes in the tens place. 8 plus 2 is 10, and 1 more is 11, for 110. So hundreds, tens, and ones, it says write the hundreds, the tens, and ones shown, and then write the number. So if we look at our hundreds, we can see that there are 2. If we look at our tens, there are 5. And our ones, there are 3. And you can see the number right there, 253. For number 8, we have 3 hundredths blocks. There are no 10 sticks. There are no sticks in this one. So we have to put that 0 there. And then for our ones, we have 5, and 1 more makes 6. So our answer is 306. Go to your next page. And we're going to review this vocabulary that we've seen before. Our review words are regroup, sum, difference, and hundreds. And it says visualize it. Fill in the graphic organizer by writing examples of ways to regroup. We've learned a bunch of different ways. So you can regroup. You can name 13 ones as 1 10 and 3 ones. We could name 25 Now, it would be easy to say 2 10s and 5 1s, but we can name it another way also. We could say 1 10, and we could regroup and say 15 1s. We still have 25. And we can also regroup, and we could trade 10 10s for 100. Let's go down to the bottom, and it says write a number that has a hundreds digit that is greater than its tens digit. So the hundreds digit has to be greater than the tens digit. So I know that I am going to write a 3-digit number because I have to have a hundred. So I'm just going to make 3 little lines here so I know I have 3 places. And I'm going to choose a number to put in the tens place. Let's say we put a 3. So I need to have a hundreds digit that is greater than this. So there isn't just one answer. It could be a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So I'm going to put a 4 there. And it doesn't say anything about what the ones digit needs to be, so that can be anything. I'll put a 7. Number 2 says, write an addition sentence that has a sum of 20. I bet you know that 10 plus 10 equals 20. But do you know another way to get to 20? What if we start at 12? What do we add to 12 to get to 20? 12 plus 8 equals 20. There are many other ways to add to 20 as well. And the last one says, write a subtraction sentence that has a difference of 10. So if you're subtracting, you're going to have 10 for your answer. So if we start at 35, what do we need to subtract right here so that our difference will be 10? What is 10 less than 35? It would be 25. Okay, turn your paper over. And there's a game for you to play at home. It's called 2-Digit Shuffle. And you need to have number cards that go from 10 to 50. You can make those, you could just make them on a little piece of paper, you could make them on little cards, whatever you have at home that you can use. So I have a bunch here. I've got 17, 28, 10, 16, 27, 43. I've got a bunch of cards. And you need some counters. And if you don't have the counters that we have at school, again, you can use coins, you can use pasta, whatever you have a bunch of that you could use. So you play with a partner, and it says shuffle the number cards and place them face down in a pile. So they're right here. So take 2 cards and say the sum of the 2 numbers. So you're probably going to need a piece of paper so that you can do your work on it. So if I took 44 and 43, I need to find the sum of that. So if I had my scratch paper, I would write 44, 43, and I would add those together. And if my partner agrees that I did it correctly, then I get to put a counter on one of these buttons. Now it says if your sum is correct, place a counter on a button. If you regrouped to solve it, place a counter on another button. So you can get 2 buttons that you get to put your counter on if your sum is correct and you had to regroup. Number 5 says take turns, cover all the buttons, and the player with more counters on the board wins. So you could play this game another way. It says repeat the game, saying the difference between the 2 numbers for each turn. And again, if your difference is correct and if you had to regroup to solve it, then you could cover up 2 buttons.